It's time to escape the cage. I'm your host, Rotten Ronnie, here with my tag team partner, the MADD Mad Matt.
Yep, we're here fresh off of attending Monday Night Raw.
And it's episode 10. We made it to episode 10.
Wow, double digits.
And you can find us on SoundCloud. Our archives are all on YouTube. We're hosting most of our shows on YouTube and SoundCloud, kind of respectively, more YouTube. But you'll be able to find us on both those. We now have a website. A brand new website, escapethecageradio.com. That's escapethecageradio.com. And you can hit us up on Twitter at escapethecage31 or shoot us an email, escapethecageradio@gmail.com. And today we got some, we went to Raw on Monday, so we're going to talk about the Monday Night Raw. We're going to talk about the Divas Revolution a little bit, and we're going to talk about some injuries, and we got some all kinds of shit going for you. So
yeah, it's kind of a funny story of how we ended up on Raw on Monday.
Yeah, I got a random call from Matt, or I got a text from Matt that I woke up to, and Matt got 4 free tickets, VIP status.
Yeah, I mean, when you've been a wrestling fan as long as I have, and when you're in the game as much as me, there's certain perks that you get.
We got like a little inside, inside help,
No, I had a buddy text me at midnight, then again at 7 o'clock in the morning and said, "Hey, Matt, I have 4 VIP tickets, free parking, everything for you, for Raw for free." And I literally got my manager to let me leave work early to go to Raw.
And that's how we do it. Same with me. I hit my boss up and I was like, dude, I got 4 VIP tickets to Raw. I'm out of here. And it didn't matter what he said. I was gone. So.
Yeah, it was a good show. There were definitely some awkward things on the show, so I think we definitely want to get into that. Right off the bat, man, I don't know what the hell they're trying to do with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I mean, the live booing was insane.
It was insane. Like, are they trying to make Bray Wyatt the faces now, or are they trying to make him heels still? I'm really confused.
I've heard they've been testing Bray Wyatt as a face at house shows recently, and it's been going over pretty well. So they're thinking about incorporating him into a full-time face. But with his character, it doesn't really change much of his character. You know what I mean? Kind of like when The Undertaker is either booing him or cheering him, but it was the same guy. Yeah,
no, definitely. Here's the thing with Bray Wyatt, though. For him to really be – because Bray Wyatt could be the new Undertaker. Like, he could be that guy. It's going to be kind of interesting to see because I don't see him being that guy with the Wyatt family with him. He's gonna have to be on his own.
Yeah, see, we have an interesting difference of opinion on there, which we'll get into. Overall, though, what did you think of Monday's Raw? It was the second Raw after WrestleMania. They had Shane McMahon running it again, which doesn't make sense to me, but I don't hate it. It kind of doesn't make any sense why Shane is allowed to just all of a sudden run it. The authorities kind of disappeared. There really hasn't been anything going on. Do you think that this is is this setting the stage for a brand split? Or do you think Shane will just not show up one week and then it'll go back to normal?
I'm not really too sure yet. I think what it's going to eventually build to, because obviously of all the injuries, maybe a potential match between Shane McMahon and Triple H.
That's interesting.
And maybe like a SummerSlam.
I could see that. I could definitely see that
like
happening.
So,
do you think it'd be like over control? Because I think obviously they'd have to kind of incorporate Triple H into being more of an authoritarian figure. Like, yeah, he's the authority, and they say principal owner, but everyone still knows that Vince is the boss. Vince is the man. So do you think that Triple H would maybe have to, like maybe Triple H taking even a more heel role and maybe trying to push Vince off to the side kind of a thing, and maybe kind of getting Vince out of the picture a little bit and then having it be focusing on Triple H and Shane? Or do you think Vince should be involved somehow?
As much as I love Vince, I mean, it's time. He really can't be involved, man. He's getting too old.
Yeah.
I mean, just in general. I mean, as a character, yeah, he's still great. He can't do the stuff that he does anymore. Like, he eventually needs to just hand that company down to them and let them run it. You know? And just in general, like in real life, you know what I mean? And also on the show too, in the scripting. So it'll be interesting to see. It's because, Triple H and Stephanie haven't even been seen since WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of just disappeared. It's probably a storyline, but they may just not have anything written for them.
Yeah, it's just weird how, okay, Triple H loses the belt. You would think he would come back on Raw and at least say something about her, Stephanie at least.
Yeah.
Or at least give some kind of, all right, well, when we come back. But it's just, okay, here's Shane.
And then not only that, but Vince just went ahead and handed it over to Raw over to Shane, without even really any explanation, no fight. And then especially for the second week, he just went ahead and handed it to him. Now, again, like I said, I'm not mad at that at all. I actually think it's awesome because these last 2 Raws, I don't care if it's Shane, Triple H, or Vince, these last 2 Raws have been great.
Yeah, I mean, and you can totally tell. I mean, Shane McMahon is over.
Yeah,
and he's great on the mic still. He's a great authority. He honestly, it shouldn't be Stephanie and Triple H running. It really should be Shane.
Yeah, and I liked how he was complimenting the wrestlers like backstage, and they showed it on camera. How he's like, "That was a great match. This is what it's all about." Like, it really shows that it's like a young, fresh, like view at the company that I think Vince used to have, but has been long gone because now Vince, I mean, he feels he's God of wrestling, which I mean he kind of is.
Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, I mean, Raw opened up, with Shane, Roman Reigns, League of Nations came out, set up for the main event, which was Roman Reigns
and Bray
Wyatt versus, the 2 members of the League of Nations. It was
Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus.
Yeah. Alberto Del Rio was pretty over.
Yeah, he was. Los Angeles, they were all see. There was a guy behind us. It was kind of funny. The guy behind us who you could obviously tell that he wasn't like a wrestling fan, and his friend brought him, and he's all, "Why do they keep yelling C? Why do they keep yelling C?" And his friend had to explain. He's all, "Well, it's yes in Spanish." He's all, "Oh."
Wasn't that guy making you a little angry too?
He was, and I'll tell you why. What was going on is I was sitting there with my girlfriend, me, Matt, and then we brought my brother along, and he was sitting there being Mr. Wrestling knowledge. Like he thought he kept talking about, he mentioned that, he said that Natalya was old and she's only in her late 20s. He said she didn't know how to wrestle, which, I mean, you don't know what you're talking about, brother.
I mean, probably the hands down right next to, I can honestly say Natalya is probably, and Paige, the best wrestlers that have actually given that time.
Because it's their family.
Because they've been wrestling their whole life.
Yeah. So I don't know what he was talking. It was kind of like, what the fuck is this dude saying? And the worst part about it is that he was explaining this to someone who was a non-fan or like a new fan. So you're sitting here wondering, it's like you're not really doing much justice to the product or getting your friend interested by saying those kinds of things.
Yeah, you just want to let them sit there and enjoy the show. Like when when we went to WrestleMania, I took my friend Ashley. She's not a wrestling fan, but I didn't sit there and say, okay, this is how it works. I mean, yeah, I told them who they were and, kind of like how the storyline was going. This person did this, so they know what's going on. But you don't sit here and tell them like the ins and outs. You just let them enjoy the show. And then after that, she was a wrestling fan.
Yeah, this guy was giving away secrets, to the point to where secrets that, even you and I that know, we don't really give out to people, in a sense that it's just like one of them, I mean, you guys know, is that he was saying when you're watching a wrestling match, the guy that's losing most of the time is probably going to be the winner in a sense. But there's enough times to where that doesn't happen that's not a given rule. That's not, but it's something where if you're watching just a shitty throwaway match, the guy that's getting beat up most of the time may lose.
I mean, when you're a hardcore or becoming a hardcore wrestling fan, brand new person you go and you do your own research and you find out all that stuff on your own.
Exactly.
And then but then when you watch the show, you suspend your disbelief, and then you enjoy the show. That's what wrestling is these days.
Yeah, just like watching a television show or a movie. You don't sit there and nitpick the movie and say, "Oh, that was fake blood," "Oh, that looks stupid," or "That was this." You let yourself enjoy it and you kind of go along with it. Other than that, and then the other thing that I thought was funny, the motherfucker didn't know what a dark match is.
Yeah, like that's just, he's Mr. Know-It-All and you don't know what a dark match is. I don't know what's going on here now. They're going to team against each other. This is something crazy.
Because for Raw, we got a 6-man tag after the lights went out, and the show went dark, which just means it's not on television anymore. They had Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and AJ Styles versus the Wyatt family in a 6-man tag, which is pretty good. It was a kind of a good 6-man tag match. I did see AJ Styles was rubbing his back on the outside of the ring, and it was something to where obviously the cameras weren't on him. He wasn't selling an injury, but he was really rubbing out his lower back, and I know he was having lower back issues in Japan.
I know that, and I think Chris Jericho talked about it as well. AJ Styles has actually started doing DDP yoga to help him with his back.
Hell yeah.
He's been having back issues for a while now, so that's really good, and it fixed Chris Jericho's back and Diamond Dallas Page's back. So
yeah, Chris Jericho's awesome right now. So whatever they did, then AJ keep doing it.
All right, so then I don't know if I'm going directly in order, but let's talk about the Kevin Owens Shane McMahon segment. I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Kevin Owens was over in LA. Kevin
Owens has stepped it up amazing. He's right now, him and Jericho are the best heels in the business right now, hands down.
Yeah, so I mean, he had a great promo with Shane. Made a lot of valid points. I didn't get my rematch. And it's true. He shouldn't have had to fight someone. He should got his immediate rematch.
Should have been handed to him.
Honestly, I honestly hoped that he was going to get his rematch right then and there on Raw, fight The Miz, and take the title.
That would have been rad.
That would have been rad. But we still got a great match because then we had him fight Cesaro.
Which was wow.
That was a great match. Did you see Owen's frog splash?
Yeah.
They replayed that like 30 times. And it's funny to a point too. I mean, if you're a hardcore independent fan, you're like, oh, Kevin Owens frog splash, that was sick, awesome. But to the casual wrestling fan, oh my freaking god,
no shit, yeah,
like that's a huge dude, and that's just gonna build their viewership and build their audience. It's stuff like that, and that just Kevin Owens is just on another level, and especially for being in WWE. Now, yes, Kevin Owens has been around for 13 freaking years, long time, but being in WWE, especially on the the main roster Raw, less than a year, and where he's already taken his game,
it's amazing.
It's phenomenal.
It's great, and especially to have a guy who he doesn't have the cliche WWE physique.
Yep.
Yep. And so I think that it's great that they're actually he reminds me of just like an old school brawler.
Who he kind of reminds me of a little bit, but I think actually a lot better is just as far as an athleticism point for a big man is Bam Bam Bigelow.
Great comparison.
You know what I mean? Because Bigelow used to be able to do those moonsaults and all that crazy. And Kevin Owens, he did it on NXT on his debut match. He hasn't done it 6. I don't think they're letting him. But the same flip that all those people do, the senton or whatever, over the rope. When they're running like the Sami Zayn did. We'll talk about that in the AJ Styles match, which was phenomenal, by the way. Kevin Owens can do that all day.
Yeah, no problem.
And they just don't let him do that because, they don't want him to get hurt.
He's also a bigger guy falling down on people, so more people would have to catch him at more risk of injury, things like that. So
I just think it's great that Kevin Owens broke his nose his first match and freaking was still there.
I'm still there. Kevin Owens is the fucking man when it comes to the WWE and it comes to especially their heel.
Oh, and by the way, that match, Owens and Cesaro was phenomenal. That uppercut that Cesaro hit when he jumped off the ropes was freaking insane.
You could hear it.
There were some really good wrestling matches. Oh,
wrestling.
Speaking of which, there's something I want to talk about. We're going to get into this. I'm writing this down for the Divas segment about a comment that I heard on SmackDown where the new announcer said that Paige grew up in a sports entertainment family.
Oh, no.
He said that, so we're going to talk
about that. Was that Mauro Ranallo?
Yeah, he said
he's being forced into that, unfortunately.
A sports entertainment family.
Yeah, that's Vince McMahon's favorite word, and Kevin Dunn's favorite word is sports entertainment. They hate the word wrestling.
Yeah, but I don't want to steer too much because we're going to talk about that in one of our upcoming segments. But should we get into the?
Other than that, then you had AJ Styles and Sami Zayn.
The best match of the night.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, it felt like that's like the indies, then fast forward, you put it on fucking WWE TV. I mean, that was great. We actually have a picture on our website, which escapethecageradio.com. If you go to our website, you can see a picture of AJ Styles that it just looks great. It's a great picture. We're maybe going to post some more pictures of Raw up there. You can also find all of our shows as well.
Yeah, that match was absolutely phenomenal. Both wrestlers were over. I wasn't upset about about AJ Styles winning. I personally didn't really want it to be a triple threat match.
No.
I kind of want it to stay a singles match between him and Reigns. I think Sami Zayn's going to be there. He's almost there.
Yeah.
I do want to see Sami Zayn have a nice run. How
about the U.S. title?
I don't want Sami Zayn to win the U.S. title.
Why
I
not?
want Sami Zayn to win the Intercontinental title.
Okay, but you don't think he should win the U.S. title first?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Absolutely
Give me reasons.
Not. Well, one, he's not from the U.S.
Okay.
And I really don't like when people not from the U.S. win it. I think it's annoying.
Okay.
And then also, it's just a title that's dead in the water. There's no meaning behind it. I mean, if you're gonna have the U.S. title, let's be honest, it should be held by a John Cena or someone of that stature, because it's really a title that you want to talk about dead in the water. We usually talk about wrestlers that are dead in the water. This title's dead in the water.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Kalisto just got injured too, I believe.
What about? I think he did, because on Raw he looked pretty hurt, and
I
it
saw
didn't look
some
like
stuff online. Yeah, that he got legitimately injured. So, I would like to see a nice feud. I would like to see either of the or. Yes, Cesaro's going to fight the Miz. I do want Miz to retain the title. I would like to see Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn then take that title and then set up a nice feud for that title at SummerSlam between Owens and Zayn.
There you go. What do you think of Maurice back with the Miz and the way they're doing there? I love it. I think it's awesome. I think Miz is great.
Yeah, I think that the segment they had backstage was hilarious when they're like, "No, don't drink that water. It's domestic."
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was funny. Miz is hilarious. He's very, very underrated. I would like to see more of him, and I like that whole thing he's doing with Maurice. I don't really want him to be the champion. He's a great wrestler, but I think he's had his run as that. I would like to see him more in the role of talk show host, doing some good matches with and obviously having Maurice there. But I want the title to be with the current wrestlers to help really build them.
Yeah, no, I totally see where you're saying. I totally see where you're coming from. I think Miz right now is kind of a good in-between champion. I don't think it should have stayed on Ryder. If they're going to take it off someone, I think you could put it on the Miz, because then, like you said, maybe now they can focus on the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn feud and make that a little bit more hot on WWE TV, and then incorporate the Intercontinental title into that feud, like you were saying. One of the other things I want to throw in just as an impromptu, you were talking about the U.S. title and it being meaningless. Now, I kind of agree with you on that sense about it being meaningless. I think they could do something with it as far as it being like maybe another mid-card title, or maybe even using, like let's say if they did do a brand split, like maybe having like the United States title on one show and then the World Heavyweight title on another show. This would take a complete rebranding of the belt, or I'm sorry, the belt's banned. You can't use that word in WWE. You can't use the word belt.
Yeah, because it's just that thing that you strap around you,
But anyway, or what about maybe I don't think they should bring any other titles back. WWE's never had a TV title, which I always thought was kind of pointless.
Now let me say another thing too about the U.S. title. Yeah, I really liked the U.S. title when John Cena had it.
He did a great job.
And I'm not talking about when he had it now.
You're talking about the spinner belt?
I'm talking about, yes, in like 2004, John Cena. When John Cena was over as shit, popular when he came out at WrestleMania and won the title, that place went freaking nuts when he was in that zone. The U.S. title, that is a WCW title. That was their Intercontinental title.
Yep.
I just don't think it'll ever have that same type of meaning here in the WWE.
No, I agree with you.
Ever.
I don't think Vince will, even if it could, I don't think Vince would allow it.
Because even the WWE Championship was always a championship. When they had the World Heavyweight Championship and then WWE, it was
I hated that.
It was stupid. As much as it was cool to see that old school belt, but the World Heavyweight Championship, it didn't mean as much. It's WCW.
Especially when they were putting it on nobodies. Like Christian was a World Heavyweight Champion for a while.
Exactly.
So it's like, not taking anything away from Christian, he's just not a World Heavyweight Champion, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I like that. What about the European title coming back? No? I would say no. But I just want to get your thoughts.
No, I think that the WWE could get a little bit more edgy and possibly reincarnate the hardcore title, maybe.
With the injuries that they have, man.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's treading on some slippery slopes there.
Yeah. I mean, you could have I'd rather have a TV title over a U.S. title.
That's because the TV title is only supposed to be defended on television.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole point of it.
Like, I would have a TV title over a U.S. title.
When I was younger and I first heard of the television champion, I had no idea what that meant. I was like, what do you mean TV champion? Like, did this guy win a television every time he wins a match or something?
And it always had a time limit to that.
Because he had a television time limit, because it would be like either 15 or 30 minutes.
No, I think it was like 10 or 15.
Wow. So there you
go.
Sometimes
they would increase it depending, like if like stuff kept going to draw. Then I think they'd have like a 5-minute overtime.
Best TV champions, RVD.
Yep.
RVD, the man. And okay, and then they also about the titles.
I was talking about the TV championship on WCW, so we're talking about.
So I took it even further. There you go, man.
Alex Wright had it for a little bit.
I remember him. Yeah, with the Russian dancer.
Yeah, I think they brought him in to WWE recently to help train some people.
Yeah, he's a trainer, I believe. Yeah, and they also on WWE's website they put up pictures of the wrestlers holding the classic titles. Mm-hmm. Dude, I love that wing. They need to bring that Winged Eagle. Old school World Heavyweight, the old school title. They need to bring that back.
See, it sucks that you can buy it now, but it has the WWE logo, not the old school. So I was gonna buy it, and I was like, oh, it doesn't have the right logo.
Yeah, so it's like, but they showed pictures of like Kevin Owens with it around his shoulder, and it just looks like it fits. It looks like that's the championship. Maybe that's because what we grew up with.
Yep.
But that looks like the title.
Who's the last wrestler to hold that title?
Who is the last wrestler to hold that title? Yeah, seriously. I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
It was actually Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
Because remember, he won the title at WrestleMania 14. Very next night, they gave him that brand new title.
Oh, that's when it changed. That's right. That is when it changed. Yep. That was the last time that title was used.
Last time that title was used.
And then it's just kind of gone downhill from there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't like. Do you remember when they had it as the undisputed title?
Yeah,
I didn't like that. And they just called it the Undisputed title.
I think it's still hilarious that Chris Jericho still to this day talks about.
Yeah, that's his biggest claim to fame.
That he beat The Rock and Stone Cold in one night.
Because that was when they first unified the belts, right? And then they split them up again.
Yep. Well, and talking about Chris Jericho, Chris Jericho had a segment on Raw, kind of just interviewing himself, which I thought was completely hilarious.
I think I heard you say myself before he did.
Yeah.
I think I even heard you you're like, it's gonna be myself or something.
Yeah, definitely. So I thought that was great. Here's what I did and did not like about that. So obviously love the whole Chris Jericho part, but again, this is something we've been talking about for a while now. Dean Ambrose comes out.
Coyote.
Yeah. I just wish he would stop being such a cartoon character. I wish he would. Now he's hilarious, but I want him to get serious. Like I want him to make some jokes like The Rock or like Stone Cold did, about that tie. But then when Jericho gets all pumped in his face, instead of him saying, "Oh, so we're not going to," not the tie. What was he wearing? The scarf.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're not going to talk about the scarf. But when he's saying like, what was the exact line he said? Something like, "I will end you," or "I will."
Something along those lines.
Something along those lines. Ambrose should have got right in his face, like, take your best shot. Just gotten all crazy.
Yeah, what you going to do, brother?
What you going to do about it? I'm right here,
I agree with you.
That's what's going to turn him into, like, that Stone Cold-like character. Because, Stone Cold would make funny jokes sometimes, when he was
once he was already established, yeah.
Once he's already established, same thing with The Rock, would be funny. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, Ambrose doesn't need to go over the top funny. Be funny, but then get real serious in your face. Like
just not goofball.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He could have brought up Jericho, take your best shot. You can take that monitor, hit me in the face, do something. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've been seeing, at least, and also in my opinion, the match between him and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania wasn't believable at all. Like, they had a perfect opportunity. And to be honest, that kind of took a little bit of the wind out of my Dean Ambrose sail a little bit. I mean, I don't dislike the guy. I think he's great. He has a lot of potential, but that was a time where that was his time to shine.
Now, mind you, though, we cannot blame this on Dean Ambrose. We blame this on WWE Creative.
Or the agents, or the actual agents.
They told him, this is how I want you to run the match. This is what it's going to be. We've seen Ambrose.
But the wrestlers do have input.
They don't. But listen,
especially if you're working with Brock Lesnar.
Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam a couple years ago. They went all over the fucking place.
Mm-hmm.
In that, whatever, I think it was like, I don't remember what type of match it was. I think it was just it was the, they had all the people around the ring, lumberjack.
A lumberjack match.
And they still went all over the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I expected. I wanted them to go all over the place. I want it to be a war. Like, I want it to be straight, like, Shane McMahon, Kurt Angle, King of the Ring war.
Do you think Brock Lesnar's the one holding back? Maybe he doesn't want to get injured.
I don't think. I mean, maybe, but I don't think Brock Lesnar is really active enough to really. I mean, how's Brock Lesnar really going to get injured?
But you remember, like, Brock Lesnar. I mean, granted, it was 10 years, more than 10 years ago now. But remember, Brock Lesnar, 2002, 2003 was a monster. I mean, he could wrestle. He could do anything. He could literally do anything.
Ambulance match. And he still could. He's in better shape than he was back then.
But something seems to be holding him back, though.
Ambulance match with the Big Show. Yeah, here's what's holding him back. He became so damn famous that they can pay him so much money now to make so few appearances. Yes. And don't get me wrong, Brock Lesnar will put on good wrestling matches.
Totally, yeah.
He had a great triple threat match at the Royal Rumble, not the year before last.
Even him and The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30 was great.
Yeah, and even the match they had at SummerSlam and also the Hell in a Cell match were good. But I think that if you're gonna have like a no holds barred, it needs to be no holds barred. Like I want to see Lesnar get hit with a monitor. Then I want you to hit him with a frying pan. Like then I want.
And you need a little bit of color. Especially what I don't understand is that they showed all that blood on Raw.
Yep.
And then none for WrestleMania.
Yeah, it should have been, honestly, the Ambrose-Lesnar match should have been like a 20-minute war.
Yeah.
Like war.
Yeah.
Like almost like the CM...
going through tables,
it should have been like CM Punk and Lesnar at SummerSlam 2013. I know we don't like CM Punk, but that match was a really good match because that was back and forth.
You mean the comic book artist?
Yeah, the comic book artist, CM Punk, yeah. The guy who keeps trying to be an MMA fighter and, still can't even make the girls'
Sandy
flyweight
Vagina
division,
Yeah, Sandy Vagina.
Sandy Vagina. Oh, funny story. You're going to laugh at this one. So I was actually out with this girl at dinner, and for some reason we were talking about going to the beach, and we're like, oh yeah, then get some sand in your vagina. And I was actually playing the podcast, and I turned the podcast on right after that, and it was actually the part from last week's episode where it said Sandy Vagina, and we both started laughing.
Ding,
it was
ding,
the
ding,
funniest
ding.
thing in the world.
That's hilarious.
I wish you would have been there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then what do you think of the main event of Raw? We got a little sidetracked on titles, but what do you think of the main event? The weird pairing of Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, or Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. It was an attempt. It was an attempt to make Bray Wyatt face. But Bray Wyatt doesn't need Roman Reigns at all. I mean, Roman Reigns.
Bray Wyatt's been a face. I mean, he's never really been he's been a heel, but he's always been cheered.
Yeah.
They always, when he comes out, the Fireflies or whatever. It was just an awkward main event in general. It was just awkward.
Yeah, the extreme finish was actually, I'll admit, was kind of cool when Bray Wyatt hit the Sister Abigail, and then when Sheamus was coming to stop it, he got the spear from Roman. I will give that credit.
Yeah, no, I'm
cool.
happy that the person who won the match was Bray Wyatt, not Roman Reigns.
He got the pin, but. And then this is one of our subjects. I mean, Bray Wyatt's injured now. I guess he screwed up his calf in Italy.
Yeah.
So, is this? I mean, this dude's becoming a little bit injury prone. It seems like
he is.
I kind of feel, at least this is my personal opinion, I think it's a little bit of a sloppy wrestling style. Bray Wyatt has a very sloppy wrestling style, and I think he needs to tighten himself up a little bit as far as in the ring, and he needs to not to try to be such a, I don't know what other word to use, but like a wild man in the ring. You know what I mean? Like how he does that move where he'll throw the dude against the ropes, then he basically just he throws his body at the guy and does like a shoulder block, and then lets his own body kind of flip around and hit the ground. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He just kind of needs to. I think a couple of these guys now need to kind of slow it down and tighten the matches up a little bit.
Well, I think what's kind of happening now, and I've heard this on other podcasts, not going to name any names here.
Fuck other podcasts.
But it's just the way that wrestling is now, the style, everything is just, it's so much faster.
Yeah.
Like honestly, a wrestler from the 80s, wouldn't make it in today's era.
Macho Man would.
Yeah, there's a handful. Rob Van
Hitman
Dam,
would.
Bret Hart, people that, had that athleticism. But like some of the
Bad News Brown.
Bad News Brown wouldn't make it. King Kong Bundy, you know what I mean? Like wrestlers, like some of those big wrestlers, Stan Hansen, like those types of wrestlers wouldn't make it because their pace back in the
You mean the guy that JBL ripped off?
The guy that JBL ripped off. Their pace was just so much slower. And they weren't the wrestlers today are in so much better shape than the wrestlers back then. And there were a handful that were in great shape, like you said, Macho Man, Ricky Steamboat, wrestlers like that, Shawn Michaels, Rick Rude. But, like Hulk Hogan, persona would not go over in today's market.
Not at all. If it was new.
If it was new, exactly.
It's too white bread.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. It's the reason why people aren't necessarily digging on. Well, why Cena gets the Cena sucks chance because he's white bread. He's your he's referred to himself as a goody two shoes Superman.
Yeah. So I mean, all in all, I mean, I'll give Raw like a 7.5. I thought it was great. Actually, maybe an 8 just because I was there and I thought it was fucking freaking awesome. Fucking freaking awesome.
You can say fuck.
Fuck.
We haven't gotten told not to yet.
It was great. So. Other than like it was just kind of the weird things with the Roman Reigns that kind of brought it down a couple points, but other than that, it was a great show.
Awesome show.
I really enjoyed myself. And it was actually really cool. I ran into like an old friend there that I hadn't seen in years. I used to play hockey with when I was like 8, and he came and sit with us. So that was pretty cool.
Damn. So Raw was awesome. So we got to go and do that. And then, so do you want to go in? Do you want to talk about some injuries? Or you want to talk about the Divas Revolution?
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about Divas. Segueing from Raw, there was a lot of Divas that actually weren't there that I was really unhappy. I think
Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Paige.
And then talking about the Divas Revolution, some of the Divas wrestlers that should really be hardcore fighting for the title, like if you want to have, I mean, I understand they're trying to do the whole Charlotte, Becky Lynch, but you gotta, and I understand it's probably because of her backstage heat like we were talking about earlier, but Paige can wrestle, Paige can go. They had Emma go over on Paige, and Emma's been doing a lot better. I really do like Emma, but
Emma's great.
Yeah, she is. But Paige is just light years ahead of a lot of these women, and she kind of started that revolution, the whole Divas Revolution, and now she's gone.
Yeah, I personally think it's because I don't have this confirmed, but I think she's got a little bit of backstage heat. I know she had a concussion for a while, so that's why they were keeping her off TV. But it doesn't seem, even before that and now currently, like when she, were you talking about on SmackDown when she fought Emma? Was it SmackDown? Yeah?
Yes.
Paige had the comeback from commercial already in the ring entrance.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything about wrestling, that's not very good.
It's not at all.
That's what they give to like jobbers.
Yeah, see, I don't want happened to Paige, what happened to Natalia, where she was kind of really like kind of the thing for a minute, and then she kind of got lost. And now they're kind of trying to bring her back.
She got lost in the shuffle.
But I mean, here's the thing with Paige. The thing that Paige has on her side is time, because she's still so young. So I mean, by the time Paige, she's what, 24 right now, 23, something like that. You know, she could be lost in the shuffle here for a year, but really be like just improve her game, and 26, 27, be like and then she's up there with having matches with Sasha Banks.
Or the negative side is she's going to gain about 20 pounds, get stuck back on the indies, and still trying to hold on to a gimmick that was once, it could go either way with this girl.
That's not going to happen. I love Paige, and that's not going to happen.
I honestly hope not, because
I'm in love with her.
The thing is with Paige,
Paige, sit on my face.
Is she, like I said, I think she's got heat backstage. I don't think that they feel that they can trust her, and I don't feel that the management feels that they can invest in her, because if you watch Total Divas, if that's any depiction of her real life, she's basically just an immature alcoholic.
Yep.
And they're not going to want to deal with that. They're not going to want to deal with someone who, it seems like that once she got onto the main roster, now her main focus is more like party time. And I've got money, party time now, versus like, okay, now let's become like a champion. Now let's focus on my shit.
She was great when she was champion. Like when she was feuding with AJ Lee, and it was great. Like she has it. She has that. She can do it. She's just got to clean. She's got to mature a little bit. I mean, we were all young once. When I was in my early 20s, I was doing a lot of partying.
Totally, yeah.
But when you're in that spotlight and you have that type of job, you gotta hold it back. I mean, it's not like it was in the 80s.
Yeah, where they showed up with a case of beer. And
where you can go pound
doing
cases
coke
of beer,
and shit in the back.
Do a bunch of coke, get into bar fights. You can't do that anymore, especially when you're on like a Divas show. Now the whole world thinks, oh, she's just some alcoholic.
Yeah.
And that's how she's being portrayed. So she needs to kind of clean up her act. And
because I've actually I've seen parents. They don't necessarily want their kids looking up to someone like that.
Absolutely.
Because what are you going to do? I mean, if you're going to have your Divas Revolution, strength in women, but then when they show them on the show, it's just like, let's drink some wine. Let's drink some wine. Let's get drunk. Let's drink some wine. And that's not a strong female role model.
Yeah, and Paige goes kind of overboard too. So.
Way overboard. In one of the last episodes, there was a part where they all like rented a house. I guess it was like a big house, and there was like two separate areas of the house, like living areas with rooms.
Yep.
And all of the divas basically came to an agreement that they didn't want to be around Alicia Fox and Paige because they're too rowdy and they're too loud, and they just don't. They want to just relax and focus on the business and focus on what they're doing. Meanwhile, like Paige and Alicia Fox talk like babies, and they want to act like children. Kind of a thing.
Yeah. To be honest, Alicia Fox, I mean, just like Rosa Mendez or whatever, they need to be gone.
Well, oddly enough, Alicia Fox actually just made history for WWE.
How?
She was the first female wrestler to compete in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because in Saudi Arabia they have Sharia law, and women aren't allowed to show anything below the neck.
Yeah.
So they have to wear. So she wears. They showed a picture of her. She's got like a long sleeve jacket on and pants. She's actually dressed conservatively, like they probably should be. And she was the first wrestler to actually stand out in front of the crowd and be in front of a Sharia law like crowd that doesn't necessarily. So she was the first female actually to compete.
Do you think that with Paige, that if she keeps being lost in the shuffle, kind of like with Sasha Banks when she first came to the main roster, we want Sasha. Do you see that the crowd can actually get behind that if Paige really starts cleaning up her act and kind of the universe forcing WWE to push her?
100%. I think a great feud would be Sasha Banks and Paige.
Absolutely.
Right now, while they're focusing on Charlotte and Natalia or whatever, or even pop Becky Lynch up there, because I heard that they're not putting Sasha in the title picture again until WrestleMania or until SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, in this meantime, have Charlotte feud with either Natalia or Becky Lynch, and then how about this? Have Charlotte feud with Natalia, have Becky Lynch feud with Emma, and then have Paige feud with Sasha Banks.
Perfect.
And have that going on and then you have a blow off. You have a couple pay-per-views till SummerSlam. Have them feud it out, blow it off, and then set up the new thing going on for SummerSlam.
Absolutely.
But these broads are going to get lost in the shuffle, and especially if they feel that they can't invest in them. Because when you look at some of these other women, like Nikki Bella's an alcoholic. Like they mention it on Total Divas about how she drinks too much.
Isn't
it's
she
like a running joke.
too now, or is she done too?
Nikki Bella says she's not, but she pretty much is.
Well, yeah, I mean, because she was a diva now, and now it's women's wrestling. So
yeah, which is great because I mean it's kind of funny because it made her title run, her longest Divas champion, completely worthless.
Absolutely,
completely worthless. But yeah, no, I think Paige should definitely step it up. I think it's kind of sucks that she's being lost in the shuffle. I mean, if you look at her from her first match, her debut match, and when she was in NXT and her debut match on Raw, and you look at her now, I mean, my girlfriend even mentioned this. She's gained a little bit. She doesn't keep herself in as great a shape as she used to. Like if she bends over in certain positions, she's got a little bit of flab on the belly, and that's from drinking. That's from alcohol. It's from drinking. It's from not taking care of yourself. Mm-hmm. So why would they want to push her? Why are they going to want her? And especially now that they're rebranding the Divas as a women's division and making it more, I would say, legitimate. Mm-hmm. She needs to legitimize herself a little bit more.
Absolutely.
I mean, party time can be party time, but I wouldn't want to squander an opportunity like she's been given.
Yeah.
I mean, she went from wrestling in high school gyms in England to now she's one of the top divas or wrestlers. I got to stop using that term. Female wrestlers on the planet.
Yeah, but according to Mario Ranallo, whatever his name is, yeah, she grew up in a sports entertainment family, not a wrestling family, a sports entertainment family.
Which we can't blame the announcers because that's Vince telling them to say that.
Absolutely.
Mario Ranallo actually is a great announcer, and he needs to replace Michael Cole like yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like he needs to be on Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, everything.
Didn't he come from New Japan?
Yeah, well, he's a general sports announcer, and he was doing the New Japan announcing on AXS.
Yeah,
and now Jim Ross is.
Yep.
And it's actually pretty rad to listen to Jim Ross.
Jim Ross has
commentate
some kind
again.
of an app now or something like that.
Oh, he does?
I was listening to on his podcast. Some kind of an app. It's for like MMA and wrestling stuff.
Oh, wow.
Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Ross Report's still going on and everything. I love Jim Ross.
Yeah.
And he just got inducted, I guess, into the NWA Hall of Fame.
That's great.
And they gave him like a title belt and everything.
Jim Ross, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to say the greatest announcer of all time, but there's three.
At least number two.
There's three people I'm going to say are the greatest announcer of all time. I can't pick one.
Let's hear it.
And let me know if you agree or disagree. Gorilla Monsoon, Jim Ross, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yeah, right there.
I mean, Vince McMahon was great. He's there, and Jesse Ventura was great. Jerry the King Lawler's great.
Vince McMahon didn't. There's times now where you can tell if you watch back on it that Vince McMahon, there were things that he would do to make up for his lack of knowledge of what was actually happening at the time. So, like, if someone did a move that Vince McMahon didn't know what it was, he would say, "What a maneuver!" And that was his code of I don't know what that guy just did.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Gorilla Monsoon. I would say Gorilla Monsoon's probably number one. And
over
then
Bobby?
Yeah, because Bobby was a heel commentator, so I mean, totally different category.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, I take that. So number one, face commentators and heel commentators. I think they need to be separated.
Yeah,
for sure.
Number one heel commentator, Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Then would you go Jesse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Third, maybe Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler. And then maybe
I mean, we're losing some old school
Zbyszko?
people though too. Yeah, Zbyszko. But as far as like Gordon Soley, great announcer too. Obviously, he was never
old school WCW.
Old school WCW. So
wasn't he WCCW too?
Yeah, he did everything. I think AWA.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really throw Tony Schiavone in there.
Nah. He wasn't bad, but
he wasn't bad. He wasn't great.
I'd rather have him than Michael Cole, to be honest. I cannot stand Michael Cole.
What's her claim to fame with Larry Zbyszko?
We blazed out with him hardcore.
Yeah,
we got some faded with him. Yeah. Even though we're probably not supposed to say that. But you know what? Fuck it.
Yep, we got faded with a WWE Hall of Famer.
Yep. We just asked him, like, hey, Larry, you want to smoke some weed? And he's all, hell yeah. And so we're like, fuck yeah, let's go. And then remember when we were hanging out with Roddy Piper?
Yeah.
Because he didn't know where to go. And he was just like chilling with us for like 10 minutes.
Yep.
He's all, I don't know what I'm doing here, guys. That was great. I miss Piper. That's what's happening.
Roddy Piper, man, he was a good guy. He always said. He said to us. He said we could have hung out and partied last night, but man, we'd be in jail in the morning.
Yeah. He's all, if this had been like 10 years ago, man, he's all, I'd be right there with you guys. We'd probably be in jail tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was great because we were walking around with a case of beer at the time.
Yeah, I always get sad when I think about Roddy Piper because I've met him a couple times and he's just such.
He was always a great guy.
Such a good dude, you know.
Never felt like a dick. Like some of those wrestlers when you meet him are assholes.
Yeah, Larry Sabisco was actually really cool. But after you guys went to go on a beer run, I sat there and had to talk to Larry for about 10
remember
minutes,
that.
And this guy would not shut the hell up. Like he was seriously just talking to me about like investing in silver and all this. I'm like, oh my god.
I remember, wasn't he talking to you about like property too or something like that?
Like, I'm just like,
yeah, we went to go get booze and you were.
Like usually I want to sit there and talk to him, but they got to a point. I was like, all right, Larry, I'm over talking to you, buddy. Like
it's not interesting anymore.
It was really cool that I met Harley Race and got to shake his hand.
Oh yeah, when he was outside.
He was in a wheelchair, but yeah.
We got a picture with him too, didn't we?
Yeah, sure, dude. It's on my Facebook.
And then, who would you say is the biggest dick wrestler? Have you met one that was actually just an asshole?
I'm trying to think. Honky Tonk Man was kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Or was that Greg? Yeah, because he was always like, oh, if you buy some. Superstar Billy Graham, I didn't really like him.
Oh yeah. He was kind of weird.
Maria? Wasn't Maria kind of a bitch to you? Or got all awkward with you? I'm trying to get a picture. Was it Maria? She was like got scared or something.
Or something. It was something weird. I think.
It was something weird. I remember something like
that. But she was nice, but it wasn't. I think it was like we may have startled her or something. I don't know.
I remember Rikishi was super cool. Kobe Beware was super cool.
Way chill.
Even Animal from Legion of Doom, he didn't have to do this because you had to pay for these pictures. We saw him and we asked him for a picture.
And he totally was like, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, just take it real quick. I just don't want to get in trouble. Rob Van Dam was cool as shit.
Fuck yeah.
He complimented me on my Cottonmouth King shirt when I was back into that.
I remember that.
So yeah, Rob Van Dam was super cool. He's just a stunner. I told you I ran into him at. Did I tell you that a couple months ago?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I ran into him in Venice. Yeah. Just walked up to him, shook his hand. Didn't want to bother him, talk to him for a picture or anything. I was like, "Hey, what's up, man? Big fan."
And he was all cool.
Yeah. See, that's my thing. I don't need to take pictures with wrestlers. Just meeting them and shaking their hands
and saying thank you, kind of.
Bret Hart was real cool when we met him too.
Yeah, he was.
He was real. That was my moment.
Didn't he make like a joke or something, or like didn't he crack? I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think he said something funny when we were getting ready to take the picture with him.
Yeah, I remember that he asked if you wanted to be. I think they asked if you wanted to be in the picture too, because I was trying to take it by myself, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll be in the picture."
That's actually not how it happened. I'm going to tell you exactly how it happened.
I don't remember. I was drunk.
Because what happened is that we went up to go take the picture, and you wouldn't take it alone. That's why I think it's so funny that you give me shit for being in the picture, because you would not walk up and take the picture by yourself. You said, "Ronnie, get in the picture with me."
Did I really say that?
That's why I think it's.
I probably did.
You're like, "Ronnie, get in the picture with me," because you were nervous.
Oh, I was nervous.
You were totally nervous.
I was super nervous.
And you're like, "Ronnie, come with me," and I was like, "Okay." And then he's all, and then they went to go get ready for the picture, and you were like, "Ronnie, get in the picture." And I was like, okay. So I got in the picture, and then it was like,
Ronnie's probably right, because I was so, when I met Bret,
we were hammered.
Bret Hart, yeah, we were a little tipsy, and Bret Hart is my favorite wrestler of all time. Like, he was the reason I got into wrestling. So like when I met him, it was crazy for me. Like I remember walking out, I was just like
almost in
shock.
hysterics.
I almost cried. Like I almost did.
I think I saw a tear.
Didn't happen. But I was just so like, oh my god, I just met Bret Hart. Like it was crazy to me, and I don't think I'd get like that. Like I've met Stone Cold, by the way, coolest dude ever.
Yeah,
I've met Stone Cold like 4 times at Costco.
Yeah, because you used to work at Costco. Yeah.
Yeah, one time when I first met in line, he was on the phone. He's like, "Hey, real quick, let me finish this phone call. I'll talk to you," because I told him I was a huge fan. Talked to me for a couple seconds. One time I saw him on the aisles. He was talking mad shit on Hulk Hogan.
Really? What was he saying?
He told me that he tried to fight Hulk Hogan backstage, and Hulk Hogan pussed out.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, I've heard they do not like each other at all.
It was right when Hulk Hogan fought Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam.
Oh,
and I was
okay.
I was like, yeah, the match was, wasn't that great of a SummerSlam. I was like, but Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan was decent because of Michaels. He's like, fucking Hulk Hogan, he did not like
That's
Hulk
awesome.
Hogan. And you can kind of tell too, like when they had the WrestleMania 30 segment, he's like, I respect everything that you've done for this business. Not that he actually respected him as a person.
Just for the business, yeah, just more or less like what he's done for the business and things like that. And then, but he also said, if you want to see me open up a can of whoop ass on Hulk Hogan, give me a hell yeah.
That's what I thought you was gonna say.
That's what I thought you was gonna say.
I still can't get over him coming out and whooping some ass at WrestleMania. I wish he would have been in the black Transrac boots, but.
And I guess he tore his rotator cuff.
Stone Cold?
Yeah, he had a torn rotator cuff during that whole segment.
Oh shit.
He said he was in a lot of pain.
That's probably why he didn't do that.
Yeah, he said he tore his rotator cuff, and then I guess Vince ribbed Shawn Michaels, and told him that he had to be in wrestling shape So I guess Shawn Michaels fucking hit the gym hard to get in the shape we saw him in for WrestleMania, and then he shows up and sees Stone Cold with a beer belly and was like, "What the hell?" and realized that they were ribbing him.
That's so.
So they made him get in shape for nothing, basically.
Hey, but it made it though. Honestly, like he couldn't have come out any other way.
Yeah, if Shawn Michaels had to come out in like t-shirt and jeans, I would have been disappointed. But when I saw him in the tights, or I don't like saying tights, but in the wrestling trunks, I was like, "Fuck yeah, mark the fuck out."
Yeah, in the kick pants.
Yeah, in the kick pants. Yeah, kick pants. I guess we'll say.
All right, so Ronnie, I think it's time that we get into our next segment here. Hey, where can they find us again? I know we talked about it.
We actually have a website.
EscapeTheCageRadio.com. We have a .com.
EscapeTheCageRadio.com. And then you can hit us up on Twitter at EscapeTheCage31 and shoot an email at EscapeTheCageRadio@gmail.com. Let us know if we suck. Let us know if you like us. Let us know if we should do something. You know what? We do everything the way we're going to do it, so we're not going to do anything different.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So
now, did you real quick? I think we wanted to talk just real quick. Didn't a couple wrestlers just get suspended?
Yes. Breaking news: Adam Rose and Connor from the Ascension have been suspended for 60 days for violation of WWE's wellness policy.
So now what you're saying is that they're even more dead in the water because they already were.
Even more dead in the water. Well, social outcasts are going to be down to one guy for the next 2 months, or down one guy for the next 2 months. So you're going to have the three of them.
Which is fine because I don't like Adam Rose. I like all the other three. So
I didn't care for Adam Rose, but they did one of those 30-minute specials on ESPN with him.
So you got to stop watching this. It makes you like people that I don't like.
And it's great. Like, no, because you see that, like, he's actually like a really chill guy,
yeah.
And he's got like a family, and his kid has like a medical condition, a really serious medical condition.
Bad.
So everything that he does for the business is for his kid and is for his family.
That's crazy.
He's not a bad guy at all. Everything is for his family.
There's actually a big ESPN 30 for 30 coming out on Ric Flair right now.
Oh, okay, that's what it was for him. It was a 30 for 30.
Yeah, so they're doing one on Ric Flair. So yeah, those guys are suspended, which is fine.
By the way, if you do have a chance to check that out on Adam Rose, the 30 for 30 ESPN, I would check it out. It's worth watching, even for you too.
You just cut me off.
I know I did.
It's fine.
Because it was important.
All right, it's good.
As far as them being suspended, I have a copy of WWE's wellness policy right in front of me, and it's actually pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. So it says they cannot use really anything as far as their so obviously, like, the first thing is PEDs, performing enhancing drugs, steroids,
weed, all that other stuff.
Do you know, I mean, do any of these names look familiar to you? These are all steroids. Down on this page, and then on the next page there's some. Do any of those look familiar to you?
Yeah, definitely some of these.
Which ones?
The dihydrotestosterone for sure that's definitely a crazy testosterone booster. The androstenedione is pretty big. Obviously, the trembolin.
That's the big one, right?
That's the big one. That's the dangerous one. That's the one that
makes people go crazy.
That makes people go crazy. That's probably what Benoit was on. Then there's the Deca. It's actually, I don't see it on here.
That might be an anti-estrogen that's in the next section.
Okay, no, but Deca is definitely one too. Because mind you, I did try steroids for a couple months, and then I was just like, it's stupid. But yeah, the trembolin for sure. The nanodrolin, I know, is a pretty common steroid.
So basically, they all do the same thing. They're just different chemicals. Because I'm not too familiar with steroids, I'll be honest with you.
I'm not super familiar, but I know like some of the big ones. Like the biggest one and the craziest one is the trembolin.
Trembolin. That's the one that people are afraid of, the one you stay away from.
That's probably what, but you also have to remember there's a difference. A lot of people don't know the difference. Steroids is really for muscle mass and really putting on muscle, but then there's also HGH.
Yes.
HGH is different because what that does, it actually strengthens your bones and your tendons. Like if I was actually going to do something now, I would do HGH simply because I think that's what Warrior did. But that's what can give you, boobs and all that. But because that strengthens your tendons and your bones and all that because it grows them,
So the steroids don't give you titties.
So think about like the Big Show, right? Like how his bones. Think of Big Show is basically just a human growth hormone as himself.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did we want to talk about the? I know we had a segment here that we were going to run for me.
Oh yeah, we're going to get into Stump the Mat. Just real quick, I was also going to talk about the other things they can't take are obviously stimulants, which is amphetamine, methamphetamine, ecstasy.
They can't roll?
No. They can't take any of the MDMA derivatives, obviously.
Probably can't do anything.
Pseudoephedrine, they can't take any of that, which is basically fake ephedrine. Any narcotics. They can't take, obviously, any narcotics, which is heroin, morphine, or chemical or pharmacological analogs.
Even like weed or anything either, they can't.
No, it's not. They can't take sleeping medication. They can't take benzodiazepines, which Xanax, Ativan, Valium.
Even with a prescription?
They can take it with a prescription, but it's like strictly like monitored, and the prescription can't be like more than 60 days old.
Yeah, so it can't be like Kurt Angle status.
And where you had like, and then barbiturates, they can't, which nobody really takes barbiturates anymore. That was like an old school, like that was like pre-Valium and pre-Xanax for barbiturates.
Yeah.
Because like Butasol, Luminol.
What if they found Quaaludes? Could they take those?
No, they can't take Quaaludes because that's a barbiturate. Diuretics, they can't take diuretics, which are used to make you piss. I
have to pee really bad.
So they can't make you take that. And then they can't take any muscle relaxers, which would be like Milltown, Somas, things like that. They're not allowed to take any of those. I don't even think they can take those with a prescription. Yeah, no, they can't even take it with a prescription. So they can't take Somas. Can't take any sleep aids, whether it be over-the-counter or non-over-the-counter. They can't take anti-estrogens, similar to steroids and things like that. I'll just go through this real quick. No prescription, obviously that's prescribed. Illegal drugs. And this is the other thing that's kind of weird. Herbal and dietary supplements. Can't take any over-the-counter herbal or dietary supplements, or else then that can pop them negative for the test. No synthetic drugs, which is like spice and all that shit. And then
what I miss?
Masking agents. I'm just going over some of the quick things that they can't take. They can't take any masking agents. They can't take any like plant food, any of that stuff.
No plant food?
No.
So then how did Daniel Bryan wrestle?
I don't know. And then even if you get diluted urine samples, you can pop negative on as far as their wellness policy.
Probably can't eat poppy seed muffins either.
Oh yeah, because those can pop negative for something, huh?
Morphine.
For morphine, really. So you probably can't do that. So even if you eat a poppy seed muffin, you could pop up dirty and just not even be thinking about it.
Yep.
And then this is what I found was interesting was the use of alcohol. It says WWE talent are expected to be free of the influence of alcohol when performing for WWE. Marty Jannetty never would have made it. Accordingly, WWE talent are prohibited from using or consuming alcohol at any time within a 12-hour period prior to any WWE event or scheduled performance. I kind of feel like they're very lax on that because with the way those bitches are drinking wine as far in the Divas division. Haven't you noticed that wine's gotten really popular in the past few years?
It really has.
It's kind of ridiculous.
I've only drinking wine like twice in my life.
It's gross. It tastes like shit, and it to me it used to give me a headache before it got me drunk. And then, so now we're going to transition on into our next segment, I guess, because wellness policy is kind of boring. I'm going to try and stump the Matt.
Okay, what's our subject today?
Are you ready, Matt? So our subject today is King of the Ring winners.
Okay.
And so we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to ask you just some random years.
Now, are you going to ask me, like, just the pay-per-view ones, or are you going to ask me the ones before that?
I'm just going to ask for a year and the winner.
Okay.
A year.
Because I know them all, man.
And a winner.
Pretty sure I know them all.
All right.
Might get me on the 80s. No, I don't know. Maybe.
Let's see.
Probably not.
So, I guess first question I'll ask you. What year was the first King of the Ring?
Tough one. I'm going to go with 1985.
Ding, 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 ding.
Am I right?
I believe you're right. I don't know, to be honest. I think Hacksaw Jim Duggan won it, yeah. Or was it Don Morocco?
It was actually, I believe it was Don Morocco.
Don Morocco, right. And then Hacksaw won in 88?
Yeah, well, I remember Hacksaw, I believe, won it from Harley Race.
That's right. Okay, that's right. Okay. So
but
next
they did actually have a King of the Ring tournament, though, every year before
It just wasn't like a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's funny because Bret Hart, fun fact, actually won it 2 years, 92 and 93.
Oh, that's right. That is right, yeah. So I guess we won't ask you who won 92 or 93. Let's see. Who won King of the Ring in 1999?
99. That's a good one. I think it was someone who just got fired, actually. Billy Gunn.
Ding, 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 ding. You got it. All right. That's kind of a random win.
Yeah.
Was he hot during that period, or is that when they were trying to solo?
That's funny because I believe that year at SummerSlam he actually wrestled The Rock.
He did, right?
Yeah.
They were that's when they were trying to push him as a solo guy, and it just did not work.
Did not work.
I mean, what do you think about? Do you think it was just like his name, like the Mr. Ass thing, or because
no.
he never really got super over?
There's just certain people that are only work with tag teams.
That's true.
Marty Jannetty. I mean, Marty Jannetty actually was decent for a minute. Had some good singles matches, but he's a tag team guy.
Yeah.
Billy Gunn's a tag team guy. Road Dogg, tag team guy.
Shit, Road Dogg's a producer of SmackDown now.
But they wouldn't have made it on their own.
No. They tried on Road Dogg. Wasn't he he was a hardcore champion and all that kind of shit for me.
Yeah, there's just certain wrestlers that can do both, like Shawn Michaels, Edge, stuff like that. Christian, tag team guy, I feel like.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he really had that great of a run as a singles. Like he was all right, but
Yeah, he definitely had more exposure in TNA as a singles wrestler.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of a repackaging thing. All right, you ready for another one?
Yep.
All right, who won the King of the Ring in 2005?
2005. I believe that was Booker T.
King Booker? Was that the year of King Booker?
I think it was.
It was. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, I'm wrong.
Ooh.
Booker T won 2006. There actually was not a King of the Ring in 2005.
You're fired!
Yep. They brought back the King of the Ring in 2006. There actually wasn't a King of the Ring from 02 to 05. I got a wrestling question wrong.
Well, that just blew that segment because we both got it wrong. So,
do we want to talk about my top 5?
Yeah, that was going to be the next thing because I want to hear what Matt's top 5 potential opponents for Roman Reigns now going forward. So now Roman Reigns is now his 3rd title run, which is a little weird.
Yeah, he's already a 3-time champion.
3-time champion. So it sounds to me like they're putting in the works to beat Triple H's record down the line if this continues the way it's continuing, unless he pulls a Benoit or something. And so
too soon.
So you've got that going on. Who besides AJ Styles? Who are your top 5? And it doesn't even have to be WWE's version. Who are your top 5 guys that you think should be Roman Reigns' opponents? And even even though we don't like Roman Reigns, even incorporate who do you think could make him look good? Who do you think might be able to help him? Give me 5 solid dudes.
All right, I have 5 solid dudes, and then we'll talk about each one briefly. First one I have, he's already feuded with him, but if we want to put him over and really get him as a face and get Roman Reigns as a heel, I might have other people that can do that better, but I threw in Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already done some stuff together. It's kind of looking like they're going that way. That's a potential. Not want to spend too much time on it because I have a couple other ones that I think are better.
Yeah, after this current injury, I think that was going to be a little bit of the plan going forward. Was Bray Wyatt was going to be working Roman Reigns at the house shows and things, but now with Bray Wyatt having a calf injury, that's obviously going to scrap that. Yeah.
And as much as I loved seeing AJ Styles win, I thought that Chris Jericho,
okay,
with his heel work that he's doing right now, could have been good for Roman Reigns.
Do you think he could help maybe establish Roman Reigns as more of a face? Or do you think the crowd would turn on Reigns and start cheering for Jericho, even though Jericho's got good heat right now?
I think, yes, that, but I also think he could actually make it look like Roman can actually have a wrestling match.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's 2 of my tops. I think this is just a no-brainer. If you want to make Roman Reigns a solid heel, he's got to turn on Ambrose, and they got to feud.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. I have nothing more.
I feel that should be heading into SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose.
Now, but here's another curveball, though, too. What do you think about this? Seth Rollins is coming back.
When's he? Do you know when he's scheduled to come back?
I don't know exactly, but I'm sure it's before SummerSlam.
Yeah, it is before SummerSlam.
I could see him and Roman at SummerSlam as well. And you could actually if you want, have Seth be a babyface.
Okay.
If you want. I mean, Seth is an amazing heel.
Yeah. The only thing, I actually I think he came back. He came back for the Slammies, right? The crowd was booing him when he came back. He didn't get the pop that I thought he was going to get.
I thought they were cheering him, no?
It wasn't as big as it was kind of a 50-50, but he didn't get the return pop that I thought that he would get after being off TV.
Because I remember when he fought John Cena at SummerSlam, they were going nuts for Seth Rollins.
Yeah, because it was against. So I think you have a good point in that if they were to put Rollins and Reigns, that the crowd would definitely go on Rollins' side.
Or just throwing it out there, I mean, you can keep Rollins a heel and then have a nice little Shield triple threat.
Okay.
That could be. And then last but definitely not least, this would make sense too, would be Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, I mean, Kevin Owens is going to be more long-term.
I just don't want him to turn into a Roman Reigns' jobber.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, because Kevin Owens does have the thing going on with Sami Zayn right now. So I think that this would have to be, down the road, like a WrestleMania, something like that. Like, I would be totally fine with Kevin Owens winning the Rumble.
That'd be awesome. I'm calling it right now, though. I think next year's WrestleMania is going to be Roman and Rock. Roman versus Rock, yeah. It's in Orlando. It's in Florida. Rock. They couldn't get Rock for this WrestleMania, so I think he had to probably promise Vince that he would work next year's WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And I think you're just going to see either Roman Reigns versus The Rock or Roman and Rock versus somebody else.
Do you think Roman Reigns is going to have the title until WrestleMania? Or do you think by then he'll be like a 6-time champion?
Yeah, the way it's going right now, he might be a 6-time champion. But if WWE would really be doing something if they kept the title on him until then, I think, to be honest with you, even though I don't like him, that might be a good idea.
To keep the title on him?
Keep the title on him for right now. Because they're going to need to establish him somehow. If this is what we're just going to have to deal with, then let's just at least do it right. Let's keep the title on him. Let's piss the fans off to the point to where once the title's taken off of him, it'll be a big moment.
He's got to be doing it as a heel, though. He's got to, because Roman Reigns, if he really works on his wrestling work, and honestly does it, they just got to do what they did with The Rock, man. You got to turn him heel. You got to have him talk shit to the.
Because everyone hated The Rock when he showed up.
Hated him.
Remember?
Die Rocky die.
Yeah, die. Literally die. Remember the die Rocky die. And it wasn't like we're enjoying hating you. Like he had like almost like X-Pac heat. Like they did not want The Rock. I mean, when he debuted at the Survivor Series, the crowd booed him because he came out with the islandy type stuff. And he had the smiles on his face, kind of like what they do to the Usos a little bit.
Yeah.
They tried to pull that with him, and the crowd hated it. And it wasn't until like he became the corporate champion that the crowd started, where he was able to kind of come out with those zingers and become The Rock.
Yep. Oh, one thing I want to talk about after this. Don't let me forget. Remind me.
Well, I think you're done with your top 5, so we can move in.
And we can end it on this because one thing that I think that we missed on Raw, and I want to get your thoughts on this, and if it's going to work, this new tag team tournament, and if they're trying to bring back the tag team division, and if you think they actually really can.
Yeah, totally. I think that if they keep going the way they're going and put a lot of emphasis on the tag teams the way they're doing now, and allow the tag teams to stay how they are, and just stick with their gimmicks and stick with it, I think that they could definitely rebuild the tag team division. What the problem is that Vince sees this stuff and he gets tired of the same pairing, and then so he in his mind thinks it'd be funnier to split them up, or thinks it'd be, because I could definitely see him eventually he's going to want to split Enzo away from Cass. Yeah.
Well, see, and that's so funny. I was just thinking, I just wanted to bring that up. Do you think? Because I mean, Big Cass is cool and all. But it's all about Enzo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could see Enzo being a top single star eventually.
Eventually. Like years down the line. Maybe a couple years down the line.
I don't know if I see them ever winning the tag titles in WWE. They're over as shit, but I don't think...
Because Vince is high on him, I guess.
I don't know how they would do with it. I mean, Cass really needs to work on his mic skills.
Yeah, he's doing a lot better, though. Yeah, he's definitely improved. Because they've been a tag team for a while, for a couple of years
I
now.
really like Enzo's little subtle jokes. Be like, actually how I was made was, Mom and Dad, they got it on. How you doing?
Yeah.
That's funny. And then he said something on SmackDown, too, about,
What's the Ascension? How you doing?
Yeah, it's just the Ascension.
It's just the Ascension. How you doing?
He's like, what's wrong? He's like, really, what's wrong with them is, the Ascension, how
There's the Ascension, man. How you doing?
You know, so I mean, I think I'm gonna say right now, best talkers. Obviously Jericho, Kevin Owens. I'm really getting close to putting Enzo up there.
Yeah,
he can really go on the mic. He's got a lot of good one-liners.
if they don't censor him, he'll be
kind of like The Rock did. You know, he's really funny.
And I think they could outshine. They could be the ones to outshine the New Day, as far as with the crowd enthusiasm and bringing the crowd into it. I like what the New Day is, but there's certain like they're doing their job in the sense that even though they're supposed to be faces now a little bit,
yeah.
I do not like. I don't like Xavier Woods. Not like I don't like him as in he should go away, but he's doing his job as a heel is making me not like him. And I also find it very odd how they gyrate their hips, a lot, and how Big E is like shaking his ass, and it's funny, but it's almost like if we can look at that, why can't we see some blood?
But here, I'll tell you why.
I mean, but that's my point. If we can look at a big ass black dude shaking his crotch in the front of the crowd, why can't we see some blood?
True. But here's the point to that. That stuff is hilarious. Let me tell you why. My person I live with, okay, he doesn't like wrestling. He's not a wrestling fan. He watches it because I watch it. It's there, and he's entertained by it. It entertains him. And he, someone who always just talks shit on everything. Oh, it's so stupid, and how do you. But when the New Day's out and they see him do that, he can't help himself but crack up.
So they're doing their job. You
know what I mean? So what they're doing is they are marketing to the casual fan, doing funny stuff. So I'm like, oh, the New Day, I cracks me up. I mean, it's just when Piggy does that, it's just funny. I can't help but laugh.
There you go. So they're doing their job. You know what I'm saying? They got it going. I'll end on this. I think honestly, besides Enzo and Cass, I'm about the Vaudevillains.
Vaudevillains are great. What about the Jason Jordan and Chad Gable?
Those guys are, as far as NXT, those guys are great. And when those guys get to the main roster, that's scary. I think they need to do a little bit longer establishing themselves in NXT, because I could see Vince not,
I think we're missing a tag team right now that just made their huge debut on Raw.
The Bullet Club?
The freaking Bullet Club.
Well, see, they're not technically, they don't count yet. They're not officially, they don't have a name yet. They're not.
The Bullet Club.
They just showed up, so they're not in the tag team division yet.
I'm calling them the Bullet Club.
No, they're probably gonna be called either the Bullet Club or Bulletproof, because WWE submitted trademarks for both. But the Bullet Club is still running in Japan, and WWE doesn't do cross promotion like that. So either the Japanese are gonna have to stop doing Bullet Club, or they're gonna call Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows Bulletproof probably.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I like when wrestlers were brought up with their name, they always get to keep their name, like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles.
They were gonna change Shinsei Nakamura's name,
like they did to what's his name? Whatever happened to the one guy?
Kenta.
Is he injured?
I heard that his injury might have thrown him off, because with Shinsuke showing up, Vince and I saw they're defending Vince and saying it's not a racist thing, but with Shinsuke being there, Vince isn't going to see two top Asian guys.
You can't. You can only have one.
Yeah.
You have one top Mexican guy. You have one top Mexican tag team.
That's just how Vince runs it.
You got a couple token black guys, and
yeah, that's how Vince runs it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Touchy Feely when he comes back.
Oh yeah, Mr. Touchy Feely. I hope Apollo Crews does not touch Vince McMahon. That's all I got to say.
Apollo Crews is fucking sick.
He's sick, but the main roster crowd is flat on him a little bit.
A little flat, but I think this is going to take some time to build. Apollo Crews, I think he still should have spent some more time in NXT.
And he needs to stop being the smiley black guy. We get that with the Usos. Let's get a gimmick on the guy.
I think we really need a guy that's really just hardcore. And I guess I'm going to go back to Dean Ambrose again. A guy that just doesn't give a shit about anything. A guy that will just get in your face. A guy that's just ready to whoop ass. That's what people want to see. People want to see people just get crazy, and that's what gets people going. If it ain't broke to face, that's Stone Cold was so damn over because of that.
Exactly.
That's the only reason people love Stone Cold. He said, "I'm gonna whoop your ass," and he whooped their ass.
When he first started saying ass, I was like, "Whoa, they're actually saying this on TV."
So yeah. I mean, on that note, I mean, WWE, it's definitely getting better. I like the direction they're going. Definitely still some holes in their game, but. All in all, I think with Shane being back, with everything, I'm really excited to kind of see where they're going to go. So.
Yeah, no, I'm down. So I think we got a good show. I think we're going to end on that. And if you want to hit us up, we got a website.
Can I do it? I want to do it. Okay.
Let's do it, Matt.
Okay. By the way, this is a landmark thing right now. I've never actually done this.
Okay, Matt's doing the outro.
So if you want to find us, Escape the rage. Escape the. I've already fucked it up. Yes. EscapeTheCageRadio.com. Find us there. Go to our website. Check it out. Hit us up on Twitter. EscapeTheCage31. Email escapethecageradio@gmail.com. We have a Facebook too. You can try to find us there if you want. No one really goes on it. I'm going to go ahead and do the signing off. I'm your co-host, Mad Matt. I'm always here with my boy,
Rotten Ronnie.
Rotten Ronnie in the house. Stay tuned for next week.
EscapeTheCageRadio.com. Have a good week.